the #1 Costa Rica real estate and investment podcast, bringing you experts from all over Costa Rica.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to episode 229 of Costa Rica Real Estate and Investments with me, your host, Richard Beckson. Today, we're going to be talking with Matthew Calhoun, Senior Account Executive at Equity Trust, a company that basically guides you in setting up self-directed IRAs to invest in certain investments worldwide. So we're going to be chatting to him about how to set it up, what your options are, and how to also invest your self-directed IRA into real estate in Costa Rica or businesses. So it's going to be a very interesting conversation that we have today, kind of understanding that. And I'll put all of his contact details in the description down below, just in case you do want to chat with him a little bit further. Remember, if you're looking to do anything here in Costa Rica, whether that's investing, project managing, you're looking to build here or a little bit scared of building, a lot of people have actually been like, hey, we would have never built in Costa Rica or bought if it was not for you guys. And we finished quite a few houses here and helped quite a few people here. So if you're looking to make an investment here, just want some guidance, relocation, we do quite a wide variety of stuff here in the office. So feel free to email us info@investingcostarica.com. That's info@investingcostarica.com, or just go to the website www.investingcostarica.com. But let's get straight into the podcast. Good morning, Matt. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, very, very good. You're the, I would say, first person that we've had from kind of the world of, I would say, investments, financial kind of side from the US ever join us on the podcast. So I appreciate it.
I appreciate having me. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, I mean, with Matt, with recent North American and, world political instability, I mean, how has this impacted your volume of work, I would say, in the last 30 days? Has there been much of an impact, or is it still pretty steady?
Lead up to the election, we definitely saw just people pause. They didn't know what to do. They were confused, on both sides of the political aisle. They just didn't know what to do. What we've seen now is in the weeks following, at least we kind of have an idea of what direction we're going to move. So you have started to see volume pick up. So people are no longer just going to sit on the sidelines. They are going to play offense, play defense, but they actually know what to do now versus before it was kind of just a holding pattern. So we have seen a big pickup in the last 30 days.
Awesome. Yeah, I think everyone's seeing there was a bit of that stall, I think, in all industries, post and now, pre and now kind of post. I mean, I think, everyone's understanding kind of what's going on, and like it's now time to move forward and, implement whatever plan that you had. Matt, a lot of people listening to this, especially because, again, IRAs are for the United States. What is an IRA and what is a self-directed IRA? Like, how do they differ? Because, again, it's even foreign to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So IRA is an acronym for Individual Retirement Account. And many people get these from, they've worked a job in the United States, they've contributed to a 401k, which a lot of people are familiar with in the States as well, or retirement benefit plans through work. And then when they've left that job, they kind of roll them over to these individual accounts. And then self-directed is kind of just a marketing term, actually. So people think it's a completely different type of IRA account. It really just depends on what your IRA custodian allows you to invest in. So we talked about that 401k or that workplace. The administrator of that plan picks a couple funds you're allowed to invest in. Sometimes it's dictated by when you plan to retire, couple index options, but you're pretty limited to what they've picked for you to invest in. When you move that to an individual retirement account at a Fidelity, a Charles Schwab, a Merrill Lynch, the investment options open up a little bit. Now you can start holding different types of mutual funds. You can buy individual stocks, maybe some bonds and some fixed income. Self-directed, so custodians like My Employer Equity Trust and groups that offer what we call self-directed retirement accounts offer all those same what I would call publicly traded assets. And now you're open to private assets, different asset classes. So commonly real estate, business ventures, precious metals, cryptocurrencies, all within that tax shelter retirement account. So the idea is building this pile of assets in a tax beneficial way that the US government gives us in retirement accounts.
Okay. So, I mean, it sounds like, again, and forgive me because I'm a bit of a novice here, I mean, the 401k rolls into an IRA, right?
Very commonly, yeah.
Okay. But you're very limited. I mean, you can basically, you're very limited in what, you've got it in one asset class per se, which is, stocks, shares, etc. When you roll it over into a self-directed IRA, it opens it up, as you mentioned there, and now you can diversify a lot more.
Correct. Yeah, I like to say true diversification. Like it's not just I'm investing in different stocks in the stock market. Now I've opened myself up to all types of asset classes. When IRAs were established, there was no rule that it had to go into the public markets. The options were basically you can invest in any asset class except life insurance and like antiques and collectibles.
Yeah.
And then the large brokers of the world decided perfect spot to just keep buying stocks in, and that's kind of what the average IRA investor thought they could do. But the self-directed IRA, like I said, opens up to different asset classes, and then even speaking a little bit more like internationally, private investments as well. You're not just limited to investments in the U.S. So it really does give you that option to truly diversify those retirement funds.
So, I mean, if someone has an IRA at the moment and they want to create a self-directed IRA, how do they go about setting that up?
Contact someone like me. We'll get you set up normally in a day or two. We can submit a request to, like I said, a Fidelity, a Schwab, wherever you have your IRA at. You can move a portion, all of it, whatever you decide, to get into these types of investments that some people just like better. They want the diversification. There might be other reasons they want asset classes they believe in more than the public markets.
Okay. Sounds pretty simple.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably a lot of people kind of get confused, but that's really what the custodian's role is, to make sure that I's are dotted, T's are crossed. We still file with the US government. You're keeping that same tax benefit in those accounts, but we try to make it a simple process for the investor.
Okay. So, I mean, as it refers to, our business, where we help people kind of invest in Costa Rica, I mean, someone could take a self-directed IRA and they could invest into Costa Rica. Are there any limitations on what they can invest into and what they can't?
I kind of hinted to it. So the outline is that it prohibited is life insurance. It already has kind of a tax beneficial status, so you can't double your IRA into a life insurance investment. The other one is antiques and collectibles, a little bit more of a gray area because what you have to kind of deem what is a collectible, what's an antique. But otherwise, there are ways to invest your retirement account in all those other asset classes.
Okay.
There are ones that people tend to center around, but technically it's a very wide option of what a retirement account can invest in.
So, I mean, somebody could buy a vacation rental property here in Costa Rica, real estate. If I'm correct, they cannot use it. Is that correct, Matt?
Correct. Yeah. So definitely a common investment would be real estate and international real estate. There are rules against you personally benefiting from your retirement investment. So if you did buy a vacation rental in Costa Rica, you couldn't stay at that particular property while your retirement account's invested into it.
Okay. And I mean, we've got some fractional investments, which, is like a very, somebody could go in and they could invest in one of them. And yeah, I mean, all funds at the end then, and any dividends that you make or profits need to be returned back to the IRA.
Yep. As you're generating income, those funds get deposited back in the retirement account, keeping that tax beneficial treatment on the US side.
Okay. Oh, very interesting, man. I mean, we don't have anything like that in the UK and nothing like that down here in Costa Rica. So I didn't realize the US was so flexible when it came to that stuff, especially internationally. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Matt, what have you seen clients invest into that's been very successful when it comes to their self-directed IRAs?
Yeah. So as you can imagine, I think last time we looked, we had over a 500,000 account holders. So we've seen a wide variety of investments, from intellectual property, racehorses, but people tend to center around a few asset classes. Real estate, both domestically and internationally, being one of the main ones. The real estate community really grabbed on to self-directed retirement accounts, found it as a good source of capital for financing their own retirement or their own investment properties, as well as investing into other people's. So that's done really well, especially with real estate prices increasing over time. We see a lot of, as I kind of mentioned, investing into other people's deals. So that can be real estate syndications, joint venture, buying a property together. But we also see it in startup companies, VC, angel investing. So those are the most common investments. And then you'll see a lot of precious metals investments and cryptocurrency lately as well.
Wow.
So those are the ones you see the most of, but we do see a lot of different investment types.
Yeah, I can imagine with 500,000 accounts. Yeah, I'm sure that you guys see quite a wide variety of stuff. I mean, just racehorses sounds crazy, but I mean, if you know what it is that you're doing, I suppose.
That's one of the main reasons people come to us. It's something they know better. Not everyone wants to look at stock charts and look at pro formas of companies and break down the companies, but they know real estate, they know Costa Rica, they know something about these other asset classes, and we're a better place to invest your money in something you know.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, my last question for you, Matt. I know this has been pretty quick, but it's just about giving people that are listening to this the options of what they can do with their self-directed IRA, especially when it comes to investing in Costa Rica and how they can do that. Because I think a lot of people are just not aware that they can actually do it as well. Or they have an IRA and can't, and how they have a 401k from an old bit company and how they can kind of roll it over and then use that to invest in Costa Rica. So, yeah. For expats, they're very limited on financing here in Costa Rica, so they usually have to go to HELOC loans. But I think that now self-directed IRAs are kind of open to them. I think it definitely opens a few doors to some people. So my last question for you, Matt, which I love to ask everyone: if you inherited $500,000 and had to invest it into a business or real estate in Costa Rica, what would you invest it in and why?
So personally, I'll speak on personal behalf versus as the IRA custodian. So I do a lot of real estate investing myself. I love it. I love the brick and mortar of the asset class. It's a hard asset, and rental real estate's great. And we need housing everywhere. So I would definitely be in the housing space. I'm pretty heavily in a couple of markets, so investing internationally just makes sense at that point as a diversification. So I definitely would see myself in a real estate investment after inheriting that money.
Matt, is there any particular countries that you've seen from these 500,000 kind of account holders that you have that they kind of lean towards internationally?
I mean, if I were on Costa Rica, I mean, yes, South America is probably where we see the most international real estate investments from US IRA investors. We occasionally will see some European investments, but Panama, Mexico, Costa Rica, and a few other in South America tends to be, I would say, 10 to 1 probably on the international real estate investments. People really like to invest in South America.
Awesome. Well, Matt, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. I appreciate you taking the time and sharing your knowledge and experience with us. And anyone that's looking to basically create their own self-directed IRA and invest it into anything, Matt's details are all in the description down below. But very much appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Bye. Short but sweet podcast there with Matt. As you can see, I mean, it's a new world for me, self-directed IRAs, being from the UK and here in Costa Rica. I mean, we have kind of pension plans, but not these IRAs or 401ks that you can roll into IRAs that you can also have self-directed IRAs. It just seems to be very smart to have a self-directed IRA or a portion of your IRA in something that's a little bit more, I would say, diverse, even if that's, precious metals, as he mentioned there, startups, VCs. I didn't realize it was that dynamic, to be honest with you. But if you want to talk to Matt about that, please do. All of his contact details are in the description down below as well. We also have some investment opportunities where you can use your self-directed IRAs. We've had quite a few people do that. And are very kind of, I would say, familiar with the process from our end, but not so familiar from the process of your end. But that's where people like Matt basically can kind of help you. So if you do want to chat, email us info@investingcostarrica.com. That's info@investingcostarrica.com, or just go to the website www.investingcostarrica.com. Guys, if you're listening and you want to support the podcast, please subscribe. There'll be a subscribe button in whether that's YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or whatever you are listening to this on. I was trying to think of an old thing that you used to use there to listen to podcasts, but I don't think anyone's listening to MySpace. I don't think you had my podcast on MySpace. But anyway, but if you are, please give us a great review, guys. Share the pod as well with anyone that's listening. But very much appreciate your time and your support, guys. Again, even if you just want to say hello or you want us to cover a subject, just email us. We are human beings. We do respond, guys. And don't be, a lot of people are like, oh, Richard's got a podcast. And I'm like, well, it's just a podcast. Anyone can start it. I'm a human being at the end of this and more than happy to help anyone with anything, whether that's me or anyone in my office. So info@investingcostarrica.com. info@investingcostarrica.com. Till the next podcast, we'll see you soon. Bye.
The #1 Costa Rica real estate and investment podcast, bringing you experts from all over Costa Rica.